The Waterbox 220-gallon reef tank. It's been a while since we checked up on this guy, huh? I've been seeing y'all in the comments talking about how it's supposedly completely empty, but look guys, it's not. It's definitely not empty, no. This tank has been running for about a year now, well, close to it at least. I've had a few setbacks here and there, which I will get into later, but it's been doing really well. And clearly there is a lot that I need to update you on. We have quite a few new fish additions in the tank, and you know what, y'all? It turns out I really loved fish all along. You see, I've never been a fish person. To me, it's always been about the corals, you know? Testing the water for the corals, dosing for the corals, collecting all of the corals. Corals are the reason that I've been hooked on this hobby since the beginning. So any fish that I kept were, well, kind of like poop machines in my eyes, and only ever kept enough poop machines to keep nutrients and bioload up for my corals. But y'all, tell me why I'm obsessed with fish now. You guys were totally right. Fish are equally as awesome as the corals. And I think I'm only coming around to realizing that since I started this 220 gallon and I'm able to keep way more cool and interesting large fishies. Because up to now, the only tanks I've had have been really small. I mean, I started with a small BioCube 29 gallon and then worked my way up to a small 40 gallon, but that's been it. Just small tanks, meaning no fish options, meaning not much love for the poop machines. But like I said, I have been sleeping because these new fish have grown on me and I'm super excited to introduce you to them. Even started naming them. I mean, come on. This is Giuseppe, my new yellow fox face, and I adore this fish, okay? He eats well and no nipping at coral whatsoever, which is good. He's really shy and timid, and he is the best of friends with the Tamini tank. They eat together, they swim together, they even sleep next to each other. It is the cutest. I got them both at my local fish store, Aqua Studios, so if you're ever in the colony here in Texas, definitely go check them out because I got these fish so fat and happy, and they're getting fatter and happier with each day. Wasn't initially looking at adding the Tamini Tang, but fell in love with this little guy at the store. They're really great at scavenging and clean up the algae on the rocks and even the glass. I mean, I love a pretty fish that doubles as a great janitor, so the decision was pretty obvious. And it doesn't help that I love saying Tamini Tang. Oh, Tamini Tang. Oh, Tamini Tang. Tamini Tang. I'm weird, I know. And my dream fish since I ever started wanting to keep a reef tank, yes, I am basic, yes, I got a blue tang. It's the quintessential, I just got my first large reef aquarium fish, y'all, can you blame me? I mean, Dory and Finding Nemo aside, this is one beautiful specimen of a blue tang. He swims around the tank and he looks like he's hopping around, it's just absolutely adorable. Got this little guy pre-quarantine, so I waited for about a month or so for him to arrive, and it was well worth the wait. He's very healthy, eating well, and he's not a bully to any of the others, which was something I was really worried about considering he was one of the first new additions I added. The only other time fish seem to scorn him is during feeding time. He is so fast, y'all. He just zooms in and grabs that mysis. He is just such a fast swimmer. Oh, but this new guy here does not put up with that. Although royal grandmas are typically a bit shy in nature, this one is far from it. He is quite the feisty fish. An out and about fish, definitely likes to swim around more than other royal grandmas I've seen. I mean, just look at those colors. Royal grandmas don't get nearly enough credit for that, honestly. And also added these two wee ones. My dear reef mama decided to call them Dumb and Dumber. And I'll tell you, the name surely fits. The name definitely fits. I got two Bangai Cardinal Fish in the tank, and they are... yeah, they really are dumb and dumber. They're definitely not the smartest fish in the tank. They just kind of sit there and stare. They don't really do much, but they're really cute. I've always really liked them for that fact. It's like they're just not really there at all, like the goldfish of the saltwater world. And in my previous video, I showed y'all that I added two basic Oscillarius clownfish, and I have some unfortunate news. We had a jumper early on, and I was left with only one of these guys for a really long time. It's a huge bummer to have that happen, but couldn't leave that clown all alone though, so I did move over Holstein from the 40 gallon, and they are an adorable pair together. I think it's really odd that they were able to kind of recognize each other, I guess, but they sure did. pretty much instantly too, because Holstein was such a big girl when I moved her in. They've even made a little nest together, and they're still waiting to find their new anemone home, which is on the other side of the tank, but they can't seem to find it. Also moved over Goby from the 40-gallon as well. He's found his little rock cave somewhere in this general area. It's kind of difficult to spot him other than feeding time because Goby is a fat pig, but hey, he is not really loving the new tank as much as Holstein, the clownfish. He doesn't really value swimming space as much as he values deep caves. So I essentially never see him really because he's this tiny little dot in this monstrosity of an aquarium, but yeah, couldn't leave out the Gobes. As a newbie to fish keeping, I've had some interesting hurdles with these guys, specifically the different feeding required for these new fish. I've never had a fish that specifically required algae in their diet. The tangs and the foxface graze on the algae on my rocks and sand, sure, but definitely not enough algae to sustain their sophisticated palates. Y'all, I have busted out the seaweed clip so many times now with no success. These fish, they never seem to find it. Then the powerheads break it all up and blow it all over, and then it's just an absolute mess. Prior to adding these fish, I was feeding, meaty frozen foods like mysis, but I recently switched to this herbivore blend from Rod's Food, and the fish love it so far. The Tammany tang and the foxface really enjoy the algae. I mean, they gobble it all up, but the blue tang definitely prefers the mysis and the meaty bits, and I'm starting to get really worried about getting the blue tang's diet in shape before he becomes a little fatty. This algae clip situation needs to be sorted. If anyone has any suggestions about algae clip methods, please let me know in the comments. I never thought I would ask that because this is really not something I anticipated having difficulties with, but seriously, why can they not find the algae clip? It's driving me nuts. I definitely want to add more fish down the road, but I do want to wait a bit longer until my corals grow in to create more hiding spots for the fish. I would like to add a few wrasses, maybe 1 or 2 wrasses, and definitely a school of anthias. The movement and the color of the anthias would add so much life to the tank, so I'm pretty excited for when I can start adding them. I haven't thought far enough ahead to decide on what particular kind of fish I want to get yet, just kind of taking it as it goes and enjoying the fish that I have added. But yes, I have officially converted. I am now a fish person. I love the fish. I realized that a reef tank doesn't really come to life without them. You guys were so right. They bring so much movement and life into the tank, and I'm so in love with their individual personalities. So yep, these fish are now my babies, and I'm an overly attached mama. What can I say? Still a lot to update you guys on with this tank. Obviously need to talk about all of the new coral additions and my plans for my coral layout. And I have a lot of new equipment set up, which is pretty exciting. So stay tuned for these update videos coming here soon. Just give me 1 year, y'all. It's going to be a good one.